I'm Chris. Go back. Amend. Go back. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This special call meeting of the Barren County Fiscal Court. This is November 23rd, 2021. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Jeff Bott.
Here.
Rick Riddle.
Here.
Earl Dickerson.
Here.
Tim Coomer.
Here.
Mark Bowman.
Here.
Gil Sarton.
Here.
Lee Boucher.
Here. Here. Thank you very much. This is a special call meeting. I want to let you know that item number 8, we will not be going into closed session. We will be discussing that in open session. So just to let you know that we will discuss that in open session. That way there is no questions. Okay. First on the list is the Administrative Budget Committee met yesterday. Magistrate Botts chairs that committee. Mr. Botts, if you want to lead or you
Yes, I do, or at least start, and then I'll go from there. As we actually had that meeting yesterday, some was there. So I thought last night after the meeting, where we're at, what's actually happened the last 28 days. So let's just rewind just a little bit if y'all don't care, just to give a little history, because there's a lot of stuff out, a lot of misinformation, and here's the facts that I know what's happened. October 18th, we had a committee meeting, administrative and budget, me, Jeff Botts, Mark Bowman, Billy Houchins. Mark Bowman was not present, me and Billy. First time the American Rescue Plan was presented to our committee. The judge put it on our committee, probably because we're administration, and a lot of the pie that we talked about that day was somewhat administration personnel. And I'm assuming that's why he went to my committee. I didn't ask him, be honest. We heard a little bit about this, but this was the very first time of presentation of my committee or even myself seeing anything of what the plan was. So they introduced a pie chart. You all seen that. If people that didn't rewind and look at that committee meeting, and if you want to verify what I'm saying to you this morning, you can go on YouTube and see that committee meeting and see what we talked about. It, and like I said, Mark Bowman wasn't there. I wished he was, but that's beside the point. We talked about on the pie circle, premium pay, kind of where we're looking at today. It was on 18% at that particular formula that was presented to my committee. And we were talking at this time, Krista wasn't hired, but she had been helping out. We were in talking that day, and if you want to again watch the committee meeting, it was there was a limit of talking about personnel that could be up to $13 an hour and down to whatever. And the judge and Jenny was kind of leading that conversation on presenting this to our committee. And they came up with a number of $5 an hour. And they were looking back at the hours of the ones that they were going to break it down on some of the people that was maybe had been off on COVID, that they wasn't going to get the $5, whatever hours that was. But you all can watch the committee meeting and kind of see that. I'm just giving you a basic. So, and then kept mentioning the deadline, October 31st. October 31st, watch the committee meeting, you'll see that it was heavily mentioned several times, and certainly with that, but that they needed some type of something turned in to the whoever the government or whoever's actually in charge of that. So we had a lot of pressure. We knew we were in October, remember October 18th, deadline October 31st. So they kept saying 31st. So we were aggressive in wanting to make sure we hit the deadline. We admitted one of the other, I think the court meeting last week, that we did probably rush in to that decision. In hindsight's 2020, of course. But we were again October 31st. So rewinding that that day. So basically, me and Billy approved that $5 an hour, and certainly anybody can do some math that can see some numbers there. Even at that time, I'll be honest, is I didn't know about till some of the department heads. I wasn't thinking, that some of the departments they had mentioned last meeting that they were at half staff at one time, that there was going to be a bunch of overtime, and that wasn't talked about in my committee meeting on some things. So you start looking at just basic numbers, timing, 5, your work week 40. So didn't realize at the end that some of these numbers that are going to be out for everyone to see, if you've not already seen some numbers, I didn't comprehend and see that in a vision. But anyway, moves on out of our committee. October 19th, we had a fiscal court meeting. Unfortunately, Trent wasn't here live. I don't know if he ever got on. I don't know if it was trouble. I know Mark Bowman wasn't here. We had a fiscal court meeting, and that was basically presented what we were, again, first time I seen it. That was presented to the court October the 19th of the premium pay, basically what we've mainly talked about on that, to getting that voted in. Our goal, again, to try to beat the deadline of October 31st and at least get started and try to get our employees something before the first of the year. Or that at least was my intention. And again, I'm just one vote out of 8 here. And I don't want people to, I'm not trying to, one vote out of 8. Everybody else votes how they are, but I am the chairman of the administrative committee, so I've got to just do a little detailing and a little extra talk, but I'm just one vote. So October 19th, we voted. I don't know if I could ask the clerk. On that exact vote, I know that it passed. We had enough people. I don't know if Mark was able to even be on that list. I don't know for sure that, but other than that, we assumed that was passed. October the 19th, we went on in that meeting, hired Krista. She talked about Judge. She's been helping for 3 months part-time. We hired her on because we had a line item in the chart, amend 1%. Krista got hired unanimously. They the ones that was here, I think, voted her in. Okay, so that meeting went, again, a lot of information was given. Again, at that meeting, October 31st, need to get something turned in. So after October 19th, and following up in what Jeff Botts knows about what's going on, got a conversation with someone, shot me an email showing me an email that was sent to our secretary about the time change. Let's see where we're at here. At September 30th, and it's all open records. You all can get into all this and see that it was sent to our treasurer that the deadline is changed at that time, January 31st. I don't even know what it is now. And that was an issue that I actually, the gentleman called me about it, and since I was the chairman of the administrative committee, wanted me to know about that. So I thought I'd done the right thing by going to the judge and sat down and talked to him one-on-one, manly about a situation. whatever he wanted to do about that situation. I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to talk to the judge. I apologize if I wasn't, but I thought that he needed to know to get this thing addressed. So that was November the 5th is when I was aware of the time change. All the way up to there, we thought 31st. So anyway, Wednesday, November the 10th. Well, okay. Wednesday, November the 10th is when I met with the judge just to go over this email. And I'm going to find my paper. Apologize here, guys. A lot of papers. November 10th, I just met with the judge, sat down, talked to him, told him we had a concern with that. All right, November the 15th, had a committee meeting. At that point, some conversations was concerns out in the community, and some of the masters was wanting to try to get the EMS involved in some of this package. We had the director, Joe Middleton, come. Doctor came and he presented. We asked him some questions, and he gave us an hour of the entire, both Metcalf and Barren at that particular day. And we talked about some other things on the agenda. That was November 15th. November 16th, we had our main fiscal court meeting. And we had a regular meeting, and towards the end, this particular matter got brought back up. Ended up in a tie vote on the matter that was voted on in November the 19th. November the 22nd, or the 16th. I'm not going to go in a lot of details because pretty well everybody's fresh on last Tuesday. There's not a lot of time, just about 7 days there. We voted in a tie. So let's go to November the 22nd, which is yesterday. We had a committee meeting, EMS. Some of the masters have talked to him to get it just Barren County hours. So he presented yesterday's meeting, 79,866.85 hours just in Barren County. That was our committee meeting yesterday. Again, no action was taken yesterday. I'm just giving you up to the date where we're at. Talked to Krista. She gave us a little more information. I'm going to put her giving that information again on what we can and can't do. Found out in this time frame since the court meeting of November the 16th that what we originally voted for, if the employee gets over $25,000, that we would be in jeopardy, and some of the employees was going to be doing that. So that was brought into our attention between November 16th meeting and up till November 22nd meeting. We looked yesterday at if we move it to March, I think the numbers got pretty high. I guess when we looked at the numbers on that original first, we were thinking maybe a year. I know it was presenting more than that, but I guess they projected more than that. So we talked about lowering that from March to March, and a little bit about talking about, we just want to make sure that we all, Krista and the things are changing so much. We may also even be looking at possibly some more help on making sure attorneys. She said yesterday that she is definitely in contact if she is in question, but we may want to look at possibly even more on that line item. We have the money there of potentially either a part-time or somebody on staff. And I know some of the other counties are using Compass Group or what. So that's what we talked about yesterday. So now we didn't do any action. We didn't come up with any numbers yesterday. We're just ground zero. And I'm going to ask Tim Coomer asked if he could make a talk, and I told him he could. So Tim,
I appreciate it, Squirt. So
can you get in the microphone a little bit?
How about now? Is that better? I'm sorry.
Better.
First of all, I want to apologize for not being a good speaker, so I had to write some stuff down, so I'm gonna read it because I would just trip over my words. And I apologize for that. I'd like to make a statement on behalf of some of the ones that are offering a new proposal. We'd like to begin by acknowledging this has been a difficult topic for everyone. Some have been accused of not being appreciative of the county employees. Nothing could be further from the truth. We are very appreciative. We have never been against premium pay for our county employees. My first vote against the plan was not against the employees. I was being asked to vote on spending over $1.5 million of taxpayer funds without having a clear understanding of how it's going to be spent. I believe those who elected me to this position and those who know me would be shocked if I didn't question that plan. Again, not because I'm against rewarding our county employees, but because I want to be able to consider all options. Some have called this free money. We don't believe there's ever such thing. Let's remember how this money came to Barren County. People across our country have suffered and died because of this pandemic. In Barren County, we've lost approximately 157 citizens, which is more people than Barren County even employs. We all know someone, including myself, probably several someones who died, and countless others who have suffered grief and financial hardship. Barren County has thousands of persons who gave care. We are very thankful for our county workers and also very thankful for the healthcare providers, EMTs, paramedics, first responders, and firefighters who have spent countless hours not just doing their job, but risking their lives to take care of those in need because of COVID. We are presenting a proposal that still generously rewards our county employees, but expands it to include paramedics, EMTs, and our fire departments. We feel it is very fair. It's not one that will be liked by all, but is meant with appreciation and is meant to express generosity to those who worked in our behalf with the physical responsibilities we were elected to provide to all residents of Barren County. Here is our proposal, and I'm making this in the form of a motion. Barren County employees, and these are estimates, so do not hold me to dollar figures, only estimates. Barren County employees would receive 3 payments based $1 per hour per payment with a max of $3 per hour on the following payment schedule with exact dates to be determined. First payment, December 2021, $3,000 maximum. Second payment, June 2022, $3,000 maximum. Payment 3, December 2022, $3,000 maximum. Maximum amount of funds to be paid per employee is $9,000. As I say again, I feel it's very generous. Barren EMS would receive a one-time lump sum based on hours worked for Barren County at $3 an hour to be distributed to their personnel. The 8 Barren County volunteer fire departments would receive $20,000 per department to be used for equipment purchases as needed. These funds shall not be used for any expenses other than equipment. It cannot go to any personnel because I think it would be totally difficult to decide who made runs and who didn't make runs. These funds would be held in our county treasurer for the fire departments until requested and voted on by the court. So they would still, if the fire department makes a request, it has to come before the court. You've got $20,000 there to spend, but it still has to be approved by the court. All remaining funds are to be held in the Barren County Treasury to be classified as ARPA funds for later spending. This is only an outline of figures. And one thing that just on top of this, I think about, we may not be done with COVID yet. We might have a comeback that is worse than the first. We're not saying that we might come back later and do something else. I'm not promising that. But what if it comes back next year and we're in the same situation? We need to hang on to some of these funds to see what happens. I'll make that into a motion, and if anybody wants to second it, they can.
Tim, I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
How would you decide?
We need a second. We need a second.
Just a second. Did we get a second?
Yeah, we got, actually,
Now discussion.
I don't understand how you decide. It says based $1 per hour for payment with a max of $3 per hour.
Well, that's, I really
I need clarification.
put that right. Okay, $1 per hour for qualified hours.
Okay,
Okay, for a total of 3,000 max.
okay, so the $3 is. not-
Right, that's kind of a double, but the most they can get is $3,000 per payment. I apologize for that. That's,
Crystal, probably gonna have to be some details worked out.
yes, and this is not
Sure.
exact.
And
and
then
I just want to
you're
be
gonna
clear on
have
what you
someone
want.
will have to tell us this is all legal,
Sure.
but I'm part of being a group, and our thought was to give the employees some money before Christmas this year,
Sure.
because that a lot of people mentioning that. So that was our thought. Our group thought.
Okay.
I have a question for clarification. So is the 3,000, you may ask this, is this net or gross?
this is gross.
This is gross.
This is what's coming out of the ARPA funds.
My question is this, Kristen. Does the proposal meet all the guidelines for the ARPA fund?
Yes, it does. With clarification of the $1 per hour. Yes, it does.
The question you asked her, Judge, does it have to be gross? Is there not enough money there to be net?
There's plenty of money there. I just didn't know if we're cutting checks for 3,000 or just after taxes, because you're looking about, maybe 30 to 40% will come off that 3,000.
That was net, would that be a whole?
I'd like to know what percentage. I know you can't tell me exactly. So what's that going to have to be gross? So 38 or more?
It'll just have to be figured by the county treasurer
Be-
with,
Individually would be different, wouldn't it?
yeah. it would be.
Based on salary and
Right,
reductions, all that.
May have two people working in a household, 5 kids, will make that difference.
I'd be more willing to probably make it simpler. And it still might not come out, add a couple $100 or $3 on to that $3,000 limit, and then it would be a lot simpler than trying to figure. I'd like to, I'm trying to figure, we were trying to figure, still stay in our 18%. is what we
Sure,
were wanting to
sure.
do.
They would actually get $3,000 that way, so.
Well, let's,
Would we be able to just end the motion to be able to make what some are gonna be, whatever it takes for them to get 3,000?
well, I don't think that would be fair, because some people in different tax brackets. I'd rather just make it, if you want to make it, amend the motion, I would be good to 3,300 and then take everything out. And that would give, that's going to help some.
We have an amendment.
I want, in a second, then somebody second, then we discuss it, please.
I second.
Have a second by Master Riddle.
I'd like to hear some discussion with other thoughts, please.
We're here to put this to bed. I have not a problem with the next 3,000 or 300. Let's put this to bed and let's let the county move on. Stop the vision that's happened the last month on this issue.
You calling the question?
Yes.
All right, roll call vote, please.
Star Riddle,
Yes.
Star Nickerson,
Yes.
Star Cameron,
Yes.
Star Bowman,
Yes.
Star Sarton,
Yes.
Star Hopkins,
Yes.
Star Bott,
Yes.
Star Taylor.
Yes, thank you. All right, we have the motion still on the table. Okay, the main motion.
That was just for the amendment, yes.
As far as some discussion, been researching like Tim, we've been at we went to the conference, the judge was actually there too. And one of the things me and Tim has done in the last 3 years, we asked example in the last few years, we've been, what does the road department do on the mowing? And most of the counties mow, and that's why we question why wouldn't we mow? And so I'm just using this example. So we do ask what other counties are doing and try to benefit us. So if you look at this number with what I've been saying, Tim's got the same crew that we kind of know when we ask the surrounding counties. We're friends with the judges, and so this, since you jumped it up to 33, it's going to be right there close to the max of what we've been saying in all the other counties. We just know that I have some friends at Pulaski. They're going to do a one-time of 10,000. So if you look at that, we're right there at it. That's just what I wanted to say, that we certainly need to just be aware of what everyone else is doing. Not that that's going to affect what we're doing, but it looks like we're going to be on the high end of what the other counties are doing at this moment. Appreciate y'all's time of putting that together.
I'd like to clarify something for the board.
Sure.
We voted last meeting not to accept the pie chart. That's what we did. So we started from scratch.
Yes.
Correct. Pie chart we looked at, we voted last meeting, not to accept that. So we're starting from scratch. So our premium pay is not 18%.
Right.
It's what we decide for to be.
Yes.
So where would the fire department money, it would be in premium pay, it would go out as part of the pie. So
It would.
as well as the EMP, is that correct?
Yes.
The premium pay figure will change.
Yes.
The fire department will come in at 180,000 of our code money, and the EMP will come in at 800,000. 240.
Those hours got to be refigured.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, and I agree with Master Dickerson on that. So, instead of having this pie chart, we will be reporting actual figures as these items are brought before the court
Yes.
for ARPA funds, and we make that decision.
Yes. Next
Okay.
meeting, you will have a spreadsheet that includes this and everything else that is spent going forward toward that is approved but not yet spent, and all those figures.
Okay, this would satisfy our June 30 or January 31st, April deadline. What we're doing today is we approve this to satisfy our April
Absolutely.
deadline. Is it satisfied?
I do have a quick question, and this may be not stupidity. Does the 3,300 include retirement?
Yes. That's total.
I think that if we had a change minute from 3 to 33. I think that if we had started here, I think we'd have started here. Can't hear you. I think that, can you hear me now? I think that if we had started here, with, $9,900, I think that everybody would have been really happy. I just feel like that, and I'm gonna say we, because it is we. There's no way around it. When the votes are called, it's we, whether we like it or whether we don't. But we got a little giddy and we raised the bar just a little too high. That's my fault. And I hate that, but it is what it is. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anything else? So the pie chart had been talked about a couple of times, and these are areas where we've had conversations. I know Chris and I, we sat down with the nursing homes, we sat down with TJ Sampson just to see how they've been affected COVID wise. We had a conversation with fire chiefs about fire hydrants, where they need them the worst in our community. I do think we need to continue to do that work so we will know how to best spend this money. Because I know very little about the fire service. So the fire hydrants will help your residents and your prospective districts on premium insurance if they have the water. So I think that's important, especially for these guys. But anyway, here's the chart. Yesterday I heard we're starting from ground zero. So here's the chart. Okay, we'll put that to bed. Very good. Now, clarification. We give the fire department's contribution each year. So my question is for number 3, are we giving above our contribution this much? Okay, we just need to clarify that.
Okay, because our employees got contributions too. They got paid.
Well, we need to take
above that.
Yes,
Above.
we need to make sure we have that in action, because I want to make sure that what's coming to them is coming to them what we've got budgeted plus this 20,000. We need to be very specific about that. So I want to amend number 3 to make sure that this 20 is above what we've already have budgeted for them.
I don't think that would be necessary, but that's fine.
It
because
is.
ARPA.
It is. That way there's no question with this.
That's fine.
So I make that motion.
I second that.
We have second, Master Dickerson. Any other questions on that? Roll call vote, please.
Squire Dixon.
Yes.
Squire Cameron.
Yes.
Squire Bowman.
Yes.
Squire Sargent.
Yes.
Squire Houston.
Yes.
Squire Watts.
Yes.
Squire Riddle.
Yes.
Judge Hager.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that too. So we still have the main motion on the floor. So something that I want to say on behalf of the court, county employees, thank you. Thank you for the job that you do day in and day out. Thank you to all emergency services for the job you do day in and day out. It does not go unnoticed. What I am most proud of this court is maybe sometimes it takes a little division to make us strong. Hey, I'm good with that. I told Carl Dickerson the last meeting that I love him and there ain't a thing in the world he can do about it. And that's just the way it is. So, and I still do. But I respect each and every one of you. Tim Cumber, you did an awesome job. You know, we've learned a lot since our last meeting. We're not perfect. We don't have all the answers. Yes, publicly, Jeff Joe, you were right on some things. And you said I wouldn't say it. But guess what? You were right. That's enough. I've already said you were right. So anyway, I appreciate the elected officials for the job that you do. The department heads, thank you for standing up for your people. And I also want to clarify one thing. This is no political move. This is no political move. I voted for the employees is what I did. I voted to support our employees. I will always vote to support our employees. So for people to say this is political, I don't play politics with people's livelihoods. I don't do it. And I'm not going to. Because I've had people play politics with my livelihood and I don't appreciate it. I don't. So I appreciate you, court. Thank you for your hard work. We've got recovery money we need to put in this community. So just what it says, to recover. Okay. Any other questions? We'll vote on the main motion.
One more thing, Judge.
Yes, sir.
We probably need some clarity. We'll have to, for this study, the treasurer will have to come up with everybody. I just want to make sure that the employees get some money before Christmas.
Absolutely.
Whether we just give them, whatever we give the first 3,000 and do the figuring after the fact, and make it up on the next payment. Make sure they get the money before Christmas. As long as that's understood, I'm a bad deal. I'd like to make sure they get money before Christmas.
We could write that out, Dickerson Lumber, then we could reimburse.
So if it's $1 an hour, what is the time frame for that? Do you have a time frame? Or is it a 3,000 lump sum or 3,300 lump sum forever?
From the hours that we have decided, from the dates we have decided to use.
The 18 months before?
Well, I thought that was changed to March.
Okay.
That was my
It was
understanding.
discussed,
It
but
was
nothing was
discussed, but
official, so I'm.
So
wanting to
what
make
is
sure.
the legal date? What is the earliest? And I don't think we had any COVID. Somebody correct me, we never had a report of COVID in January of 2020 in Barren County. I think it's a little early myself. That's something I guess we need to discuss on the dates, because I know a lot of the city use and a lot of the other counties use March. I'd say that was the major timeframe. Mr. Middleton here, he might know what the major months were, the high months of COVID in our county.
I believe, don't the ARPA, Krista, say something about January 27th?
It
As a
said
date.
January something, but then somewhere else it says March.
Gotcha.
3rd.
And it may have
So-
changed. And we only know what we know when we know it. So
That's a good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we should start with March 3rd.
Sounds
It's the
good.
ending date that,
sounds good.
Okay.
that we're gonna need to define, I think.
Sounds good.
So to follow up on Carl's question, Ms. Secretary, can this happen? Can you, I know this is gonna be a big time, and Krista getting together, can this happen for, when do you anticipate this could happen, the check actually get to the,
I'll have to defer to the county treasurer.
right, I'm just, I know it's tick, can,
I have a payroll to run this week, so it'll have to be after that. I still have some questions payroll wise on this. It is.
Okay.
There's a lot of things to consider in this. So, I mean, I do still have some things that need to be clarified, but I don't know that needs to be clarified here. You know, it's in getting the numbers together. I'm gonna need some.
so when do you think roughly a check could be written?
If we need to have a special call meeting to approve it, I'm all for it.
Well, our initial anticipation was December the 3rd. And so if we can make that happen, that's what we're still gonna work towards.
Okay.
Okay, if it doesn't work out, she gets the work done, she can give an amount, give everybody. They can be figured as we move down the road, they can be figured. Taxes.
I just-
Give everybody a check, so they have.
Don't know that we don't need to do that today with the time with the holidays right here. Okay.
Any other clarifications?
No, I didn't. So Jenny, what are the normal payroll runs for the county? When you do it, what, are the employees paid twice? Are they paid bi-weekly, weekly,
We're paid-
monthly? When are they
We're
paid?
paid bi-weekly.
Okay. So you would have those normal 2 bi-weekly runs, correct? This run would be separate.
Absolutely.
In
I want
addition
this
to
one
that.
be separate, yes.
Okay.
That's why we wanted to do it on the 3rd, because that's not a payroll week.
Okay. So the 3rd week of
No, December
December?
the 3rd.
December. So what's the
December
date?
the 3rd is not a payroll week, and
Okay.
so that's when we would like to do it,
Okay,
to
so
be separate.
you said you had some clarifications as far as, are there questions you need to ask the people you report to as far as this is, this disbursement, or because, you know, we have approved it as a court, the ARPA funds. So
Right.
now it's in your court to
Well,
get it out.
okay, so you guys said the $3,300 max includes employee taxes withheld, includes, well, no, you didn't say that. You said it includes retirement. That's gonna be very, very difficult to do that. And I can explain why. The system, if I put in, say somebody had 300 hours during that time frame, then basically they're only gonna get $300, right? Is that what y'all are saying?
First payment.
The first one.
Right. So if they had 300 hours, they'll get $300. Well, the system figures the employer, our portion of the retirement on that figure. So if retirement is supposed to be included in that, there's no way for me to back that out in the system. If I back that number out, then their total amount is going to be less, and then less will be put in their retirement account. I don't know if y'all understand that, but that's going to be very difficult to do.
Sir General.
I can't change how the system operates. It is what it is.
How many people do you think would only have 300 hours in a year?
It depends on when they started working that year. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to run the numbers.
Well,
I mean, regardless of how many hours they have, my point is figuring retirement in that is gonna be impossible. It's gonna be impossible to do.
Would Master Bowman and Master Coomer want to work with the treasurer so she can show you all?
Am I right in saying that unless it is 3,000 or more, or 3,300 or more, it won't be an issue because you need a retirement in addition to?
I mean, you could make your motion and pass it to say $3,000 plus whatever portion goes to their retirement. You could say that to include 3,000 plus their retirement portion, if you wanted to do that. And that would include it. But what you guys are asking is gonna be very, very difficult, if not impossible to do.
What would be the worst possible thing that could happen if retirement wasn't figured to the penny? I mean, if we, you estimate, what would, when they start drawing their retirement, there might be a dollar fluctuation in their retirement check.
It's gonna be more than $1 if you wanna do it the way that you guys are.
But I'm talking
wanting to do
about
it.
$1 a month or whatever you're talking about.
I don't have a way to answer that question. I don't know.
Would that show up on the audit?
I'm sure it would.
And then we'd be a non-compliant, and then we'd be a story in the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can do that.
Okay, well, we'll just get it exact.
I mean, I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just saying on my end, when I go to run payroll, it's gonna be very difficult to do with the way that you guys have set this up.
Would you be willing to work with the budget and admin committee, just to show them
Absolutely. Yes,
kind of what the program looks like?
yes.
And if the budget and admin would be willing to show, let you show them how that program is run.
Yeah, I'm willing.
Master Botts,
Yes.
Master Bowman,
Yes, sir.
Master Houchins.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys just set it up, take care of it. One way or the other, we'll have these checks out before Christmas. I think that's what Master Dickerson wants. Yes, sir. Okay,
Conway.
all right. Roll call vote, please.
Squire Cameron,
Yes.
Squire Bowman,
Yes.
Squire Sarko,
Yes.
Squire Allen.
Yes.
Squire White,
Yes.
Squire Riddle,
Yes.
Squire Dickerson.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes, thank you very much. I'll pat you on the back here in a minute. Okay, Transportation Committee, we met just a second ago or earlier. Master Houchins, take it away.
Yeah, we just, got a one item on here, road closure in District 3, and the length of it is, 0.45. We was wanting to close 3/10 of it. It's on Quarry Road, in Green Valley.
And Master Dickerson, we had a member from Scotty's Corporation come in and request that this area of road be closed. And here's on the map, this is showing Quarry Road. And one of the pushes to close this is, and the sheriff's office, some of those deputies can relate to this, but we've had a lot of garbage dumped back there, a lot of drug activity that they've had to deal with, and a lot of other activity that I'm not going to say on camera. But we appreciate their assistance on this. Scotty's owns both sides. Going back, we've been maintaining it. It's illegal to close a road, to put up any type of gates on a rural secondary road. So we need to take the necessary steps to get this done, and then they'll maintain it from here. Master Houchins, you want to get that process started?
Yes, I'm gonna make a motion, we get this started.
Okay,
I'll second that.
we have a second, and then you'll have to find you a couple of viewers for whatever, and then report. If you want to move quickly on it, we can have the first reading by next court meeting. And then obviously we'd have to advertise. Well, yeah, the county attorney has it, but Master Coomer is a professional at it. He's still closing the road. Yeah.
But there has been a lot of activity.
Yes. So we have a motion, we have a second. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Okay, Master Coomer, item number 5.
Yes, we were made aware later on the I guess you'd call it remodeling of the outside of our current courthouse. In the estimate, we found some additional damage rot in the gables on either side. So we had to request additional funds from the ALC, which we did and were approved for the additional work. It was probably my fault last meeting that we didn't vote on that. I guess it was an oversight that, since they approved the money, we could do it. But anyway, I want to make the motion. We are reimbursed by the ALC on this additional repair in the amount of $7,675 with a down payment of $2,300, which I would like to add in my motion that we approve the down payment today also, so that our vendor can get a check for at least the down payment.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second, Master Potts. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Number 6, refer to county attorney.
Our treasurer had asked me to look at a uniform return policy for county employees when they are no longer employed with the county. And Squire Bowman has sent some modifications to me, and we are still working on those details. So I guess we will just pass this until the next meeting, Judge.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, our land and water grant, Master Riddle.
So I read the grant a couple of times. I'm gonna feel, somebody's gonna have to explain the languages and break it down. So, like,
Okay, do you want to get with Ms. Steenbergen on that? She's a former grant writer for WKU. Maybe you guys, there you go, Chris, and talk about that. Do you want to pass on that to next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, all right, let's go to number 8. This is what we were gonna go to closed session. This is, discuss this in open session. This is in relation to our transportation department. I have asked Scott Taylor, our operations manager, to kind of give an overview in the past, I don't know, a little over a year of some of the operations. We've showed you a lot of things. We've talked about a lot of things, and I don't know that we've received the first negative feedback from the court. So I'm putting forth to you today, and then I'm gonna let Mr. Taylor comment on this. I want to appoint a transportation supervisor today. KRS 179.020 lays that out for me, and you have to have a minimum of 3 years of experience. Today, I want to appoint Susan Gibson as the transportation supervisor. She will be the second female in the state of Kentucky to assume a role of this magnitude. I'm asking the court to support that. And Mr. Taylor, if you'd like to come forward.
First of all, we appreciate the court, all members of the court, for what you do. And we have in the past year made changes at this transportation department. And we're going to continue to put our best foot forward to take care of everybody in Barren County and Glasgow. And the 15 employees at our department support this new appointment with Ms. Gibson. She's a very knowledgeable individual of how this road department works. And we work together as a unit. This is not one individual making the decisions. Jamie DeGraff, myself, and Susan, with the judge's approval. This is why all you magistrates have been, at least to me, talking about how good a job that we've done and the direction of this transportation is going. But it's a group effort, folks, and that's how it works. And the leader for the past year has been Michael Hale. This is the direction he wanted to take this transportation department in. So that's about all I got to say. We're going to show you. We're not going to talk about what we do. We're going to show you.
Ask you one question. I have not a problem with Susan. This judge's point anyway, so it doesn't matter. I don't have a problem with that. You evidently do not even.
We support this 100%.
Thank you.
Any other questions for any of the
I just
members?
have to put on the judge, will she still continue to do her regular job, or will she be replaced as?
That'll be up to her.
And I can tell you that right now. She's taken on even more than what she's already doing. She knows more about the workings of that transportation cabinet than anybody down there. We will continue to do what we have been doing, Jamie and myself and everyone else, but we work together at this. It's not just one person. It's a group effort. Anything else? Thank you.
I would like to put that, thank you, Scott. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion for acknowledgement.
I second.
Second, Master Botts. Any other questions? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Squire Bowman,
Yes.
Squire Sargent,
Yes.
Squire Hampton,
Yes.
Squire Bott,
Yes.
Squire Riddle,
Yes.
Squire Dixon.
Yeah.
Squire Kinger,
Yes.
and Taylor.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, with nothing else on the agenda, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.